Hayward against Davis. It's stolen by Green. Here's Kuzma. Good, and it's Green picking up the assist.
Yo, this is Mr. Glass, and welcome to the GLASSHouse. Y'all, y'all are wrong for that, bro.
Whoever did that was actually kind of brilliant.
It was, dude. All right, here's one more thing I got to say real quick. This is the first podcast I've ever seen that disclaimer for. So, what y'all trying to say?
We started it actually since Sunday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm going to make sure you say it only. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, bro.
Hey, I have you know, you guys put us in the warning with YouTube, just so you know.
Really?
Yeah.
What did they say?
That's another what they say.
I want to hear it. No, break it down, dog. Hold on.
Get ready.
They say.
Do the honors, sir.
Say what?
Do the honors about why we have a warning.
We have been warned for so many things and for so many reasons. I've kind of forgotten. What did we do?
Here we go. When we showcased our Game of Thrones.
That I could tell them.
Too late, sir. Too late. No, go ahead. Say it.
Nah. So you know how we did a Game of Thrones tribute show, right? And we all sourced our favorite clips, right? Well, the places that we all sourced our clips from were unauthorized. So YouTube not only snatched our broadcast, but then went back to where we got the clips from and snatched their broadcast. So in essence, we snitched a lot of people.
Indirectly.
We was try snitching, y'all.
So sorry about that.
My bad, dog. I just wanted to do a Game of Thrones episode, but I didn't know I was gonna take people's stuff out.
Whoops.
My bad.
So
Apologies.
In short, if it was officially from HBO, we would have been okay. But because it was from Bobby Joe's bootleg, forum.
Okay.
Yeesh.
So this is what we do the next time we do something like that.
So for episode 2, Game of Thrones,
right?
You know better.
What we do is
I'm just gonna skip it because
HBO Max.
That part.
Yeah, and then I know how to do this.
Y'all dancing too close to the fire. I'm just not even interested.
Look, and we already under government surveillance already. So you know.
What is a Mr. Glass? This one is Dizzy. I don't understand. What is a David?
But we know who D-Ray is. We know that one.
So, oh geez.
All right, guys. So today's episode, let's get to it, man, because today's episode is about games that we thought were awesome until we played them. And there's so many of those. And unfortunately, there's enough that we could probably do a 24-hour episode of this. I'm not even going to cap with you because I have personally played a lot of video games in my time, right? A lot of them.
What's up, Presidente?
And not all of them are that good, especially at first, which I think most gamers now are under the impression that you can't judge a game at launch, which is sad, but it's true, right? Like, and don't you think that when you play a game, when you first get it and you're first playing it, you always in the back of your mind think, oh, they can patch this out. It'll be fine.
Yeah. They're like, oh, they'll get around to fixing this, or
When did we get to that point where we were all thinking like that?
we
Like,
just accepted it.
yeah, like
I
in my
don't know.
mind,
I've never
when I
thought
was,
about it.
yeah, like when I was a kid, I would buy a game, maybe Street Fighter or something like that, and if Street Fighter didn't produce right outside the box, then we was gonna have a problem. You know what I mean? Like,
It was ready to go.
yeah.
There was
But
no
now-
day one patch, no downloading anything. Like even now, you buy a disc, you still have to download the game,
Which is
Like,
crazy if you
Yeah.
think about it.
Yeah.
I just I don't know, man. There's just so many games that I really thought were gonna be great, and then they just didn't live up to it, and it became not just that game, but it became a whole standard for gaming, which is insane. You know
I'm
what I mean?
looking at my Steam library right now, and some of the titles in here are just making me sad. Like, I'm like, oh, that was supposed to be good. That was supposed to be good.
Well, there's a couple here that I think we've selected,
Yes.
and we're gonna have a lot of time on our hands to talk about all these. But let's just get to it. You know what I mean? Let's see what the first one is, and we can all talk about that if
All
we
right.
have experience with it.
Here we go.
Needs to hightail it out of here without another word. Ain't got no mind to see you drifting around these parts. Got it?
I made it clear. I don't want any trouble.
Then stop looking for it and hit the road quick.
Starts with short-term memory loss, then hallucination.
Hello?
Come in. Come in. Ah, raised you finally.
Willie McCoy. It's good to hear your voice.
Fee. Wish I could say the same.
Good old Cyberpunk 2077.
So before we talk about Cyberpunk 2077, I got to address the audience. Lena, if we do a Game of Thrones cosplay, I think I'm pretty much penciled in as Tyrion Lannister, and I don't think there's much I can do about that.
Actually, I believe I voted for you to be the Mountain, and I'm not even kidding. So with some good camera angles and some special effects,
Bro, we gonna need the greatest cinematographer in the history.
Hey, we can.
We're gonna need George Lucas up in
We
this
can
mug.
make that happen.
There's no one on Earth that is gonna, mix me up for Thor. I'm gonna tell you that right now. All right, so Cyberpunk 2077, guys. Like,
Yes.
all right. I didn't finish the game because when I got it, it was unfinishable. Like,
Correct.
it was just a terrible experience. But for the rest of you guys, how did you guys feel about the game? We'll start with D-Ray because I think he wanted to say something and I rudely cut him off.
No, it's cool. I'm sad that this game is being featured because it was one of the games I wanted to play that I hadn't gotten to yet. And now that I'm hearing it kind of disappointing, it's almost like, oh well. So that's all. I never got around to playing it.
Well, here's the thing though, D-Ray. The game is much better than it was back then. When I could probably start it now because I have more free time than I did back then and just play it off stream and enjoy it. But because you can't play it on stream and enjoy it, by the way, because you can't do none of the, like, there's so many things you have to turn off when you're on a stream that I also feel like they should have thought of that. CG Projekt Red is known for their extreme quality with the Witcher series, but the fact that they didn't even consider people want to stream this, and maybe we should make, the game a little bit more streamer friendly, which means you have to toggle nudity off in the options before you ever make your character, because in the character selection screen, you're all hanging out there, man. You ain't got no clothes on.
Word?
Yeah, bro.
Oh yeah.
And if you don't know better, thankfully, I was watching another streamer do it, because a lot of streamers, they cheat and they get it like the day before because they set their clocks to New Zealand time, and so they play everything a day before. So I was watching the stream and I saw this chick get in trouble live on stream. She had the what was your famous words, Troy? Never mind, I ain't gonna go there.
Yeah, you trying to get us banned already?
I know what word it is.
I just said that to make D-Ray laugh. I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro.
We can't start that conversation again. We almost lost him last time.
No, let's not do that.
But anyway, that's an inside joke right there. But anyway, so everything was hanging out, and she got in trouble live on the stream for that, which is crazy. And, and in my mind, I was like, well, gotta turn that off before I start my character. You know what I mean? Okay, Dizzy. Cyberpunk 2077. Your thoughts?
It was definitely unpolished. It was not polished at all. That being said, I think I was one of the 5 people. I really enjoyed the game. I got it right away. I beat it right away.
Wow.
Me and Sam both. I got the worst ending you could possibly get. I'm like, that's no closure, and I'm apparently miserable forever now. But I played it through, and I got the ending I earned. But I liked it. I actually did a second playthrough, and I'm doing a third one right now.
I think I'm gonna start one soon, but because the game is a lot more cleaned up than it was back then, so I probably will enjoy it now. But back then, I don't think it was enjoyable. There was a couple quests when I played it that I literally couldn't finish because the game just said no, and I wasn't pleased with that. It's just, when you buy a game like Cyberpunk 2077, it was highly touted. I mean, they brought Keanu Reeves into the game. Everybody was so hyped for that game when they saw him. And it just, to underdeliver in that magnitude on that type of a game from that studio that we just saw bring us The Witcher 3. And I mean, The Witcher 3 is probably in most people's top 5 greatest game of all time. And then you sit here and you bring us Cyberpunk 2077, bruh. Nah.
I think the hype made it just seem worse. I don't think the underperformance would have been as notable if the hype hadn't been way up here.
I totally agree. All right, so Veep, you got anything for us on this one?
Man, I didn't even get out of the garage because the game just glitched out on me.
Oh wow.
So I was stuck there. So
I think you should consider giving it another play now, because they've cleaned up a lot of the glitches and things like that. And you run it on PC, where the mods are probably going to help you a lot. You could probably have a lot of fun with it.
And there's nudity.
A lot of it.
Boobies.
All over the place.
What did you just say, Glass?
Boobies.
I'm gonna sample the heck out of that.
Anyway, what else we got, man? Now that I done got myself in trouble.
Let's go on to the next one.
Lord Vader, we were ambushed upon arrival, but I have the situation well in...
I have no interest in your failures, Commander. I am here on a mission of my own.
E-Ray, what's your
Yeah.
take on that?
So, in full disclosure, this game came out in 2008, and it has the dubious distinction of being one of the first games I downloaded on an iPhone that I actually paid for. So, I actually played the iOS version of this game many, many years ago. And one of the things that frustrated me about the iPhone version was you could actually finish the entire game in less than an hour. Right?
Oh, wow.
The entire thing. And I want to say at that time, game cost like maybe $10, something like that, or whatever. So you would have to consistently forget the ending and just, repeat it and play it over and over and over again. And so that by the time I actually played it on PlayStation 2, not only was it kind of foreign to me, I guess I just kind of lost interest. It was just like, so
yeah.
And plus the storyline was a bit of a stretch for me.
So the game we're talking about is Star Wars: The Force Unleashed, right? If I'm looking at it correctly, right? That's what the game is.
That's
that's
correct.
it. Mm-hmm.
I played it. I also think I feel the same way as D-Ray. Didn't like it. Really, I just, first of all, and I know this is going to sound weird, but in 2008, we had better graphics than that. That was substandard graphics for at the time. And I remember thinking when I played it, like, damn, this is like PlayStation 1 graphics. Like, what's wrong with this?
Yeah, they made it really, really cartoonish, but they made it violently cartoonish.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Dizzy, how do you feel about Star Wars: The Force Unleashed?
I never played it.
I think you're better out for it.
Oh, also, I'm probably one of the biggest Star Wars fans you've ever met in your life. So my expectations are like quadruple with every Star Wars game there is.
That's a big claim. I mean, I work in an IT department. That is a big claim to toss out there.
So you're accustomed to giving people the ID10T virus?
ID10T?
Yeah.
Pepcac?
We need to talk later. But yeah, so for those who don't know, that's from the Death Star customer service YouTube video, which is hilarious. But yeah, so maybe I have unfair or unreasonable, unrealistic expectations of what the game is supposed to be. Like this last Star Wars game, why is the name escaping me? The one that just
Jedi Fallen Jedi.
Fallen Order?
Was it Old Republic?
Yeah, Fallen Order, yeah.
Fallen Order?
Yeah.
In my estimation, that's probably one of the best Star Wars games ever made.
Knights of the Old Republic.
No.
Knights of the Old Republic.
No.
Dizzy, help me here.
Are you talking about the online Knights of the Republic?
No.
Or are you talking about the actual game?
The actual game.
No. before this new Star Wars game, I guess before that maybe Battlefront, but that was kind of iffy. I don't know if we're going to talk about it.
I didn't like Battlefront.
No. But
which one, like the originals that came out on the original Xbox, or the reboots that came out afterwards?
I'm talking about the originals, but the particularly number 2, which
the original Battlefront 2.
Yeah, which
that
introduced.
game I loved.
Well, I it's fine, but that one wasn't that like the first time they did the micro transactions when you had to buy stuff.
That was the very first game I played online on the Xbox.
Mm.
That was my very first Xbox Live account, and the reason we played that game was to get around the long distance charges because it was cheaper to talk to your friends or others on Xbox Live than it was to pay the cross country long distance fees, because those were still a thing.
Wow. You know what's crazy? We need to discuss that. That's a great point. That's something that gaming does that
I
people
occasionally
don't
make
even
those.
remotely consider. It's like, all right, I could talk to D-Ray, who's in somewhere south. I'm not gonna say exactly.
Oh no, I'm not scared. North Carolina, they roll up on me. This is gonna be a problem.
Oh, okay, all right, I respect it. You know, I'm from New York. You know, the Veep is from also somewhere south. He can chime in with his if he wants to.
Florida. That's cool.
And there you go. And Dizzy is from somewhere north of me. She can chime in if she wants to.
I'm in Ontario.
All right, so we all can talk at the exact same time through the power of the internet, and online gaming is a big part of that. I met these guys online gaming, except D-Ray, but I met the Veep through online gaming, and he helped me meet D-Ray. So the power of online gaming has literally made all of our friendships possible, which is insane.
Facts, Your Honor.
But yeah, so it was just because it's so fun. So I have a special place in my heart for Battlefront 2 on the original Xbox.
Gotcha.
Jay?
My first online game was Mech Assault. You guys remember that?
They're trying to save you, Jay. Don't do it. Don't do it.
You on your way to pull up on me? What?
No, he's talking about me, and I'm just saying.
Yeah, nah, I wouldn't do that.
Don't do it.
I wouldn't do that, bruh. First of all, not only will D-Ray get you, but D-Ray's kids will get you. You don't want that. They're your age. They gonna punk you out. You don't want that kind of problem, bro.
Hey, look, and where I live, people don't see you. They don't see you come, so therefore they don't have to see you.
Real quick, before we move on from Force Unleashed, me personally, EA needs to leave Star Wars franchise alone, because Battlefront, I'm gonna teach you guys a Spanish word. It's called basura. That stands for trash.
Wow.
Did not love it at all.
Yeah.
I didn't even give them the chance for the second one because I was like, yeah, you guys are not wasting.
I never played Force Unleashed because I was angry at it. Because instead of focusing on Titanfall 3, they're focusing on Force Unleashed.
Gotcha.
Well, I'm gonna keep it. Like, all right, so Jedi Fallen Order was a great game. But
no, not Force Unleashed. Fallen Order, not Force Unleashed. Sorry.
Yeah, the reason why I said Knights of the Old Republic was the best one is because actually, critically acclaimed wise, Knights of the Old Republic is one of the top Xbox games ever made. Like, you can look up the reviews, you can look up everything, you look up the awards it won. It is extremely highly acclaimed. So I don't know how D-Ray doesn't like that one, but it was one of the top games ever made by most people's estimations.
Oh, and FYI, Star Wars Fallen Order 2, tentative date 2023.
And you know what that means? That means there's no tentative date for Titanfall 3. All right?
She's focused so heavily.
Hey, man, that butterfly effect, man.
I waited 15 minutes to get into a Titanfall 2 game yesterday. I need Titanfall 3.
Woo.
One of the biggest things I think is the problem, Disney, with Titanfall 3 is Apex Legends. That is your biggest problem.
Don't
not
get me started.
Star
A
Wars.
fucking battle royale getting in the way of my quality game.
But see, here's the thing. Now that EA realizes that they can make so much more money on a game like Apex Legends using the same assets as what's in Titanfall, what incentivizes them to make Titanfall 3 when they can make more money with Apex Legends and just keep expanding that?
But that's what they don't understand. I'm going to buy Titanfall 3, which means I'm going to buy everything that's cosmetic or whatever. Like,
I get it. But...
Titanfall cosmetics.
No, in Titanfall 2. In Titanfall 2, there were DLCs and there were gun cosmetics. And there were Titan cosmetics. Like, you had the Monarch bundle and you had the... I bought it all. I bought it all.
My point, though, right, is...
He's a fan.
When you look at from a bottom line, a dollar perspective, right? They can use the exact same assets as what was in Titanfall 2. The guns, the character models, the powers, everything like that, right? And they can just port it to Apex Legends, make way more money, and not have to make an entirely new game. I feel like you're probably never going to see Titanfall 3. And I know that sucks to say, but if I were EA, I would not make it.
You're gonna make me cry. But I get that because they got Apex Legends and battle royales are like
Mr.
the
Glass
cancer of video games.
I'm just saying facts, bro.
I have strong feelings about this.
I'm gonna have to overrule you, Mr. Glass, because
you do realize it's my show, right?
No, that's what I said. The show, but facts. Titanfall 3 has been confirmed.
No, it has not.
Really?
Yes, it has.
When did this
You
happen?
sent me that link.
I'm gonna put the link in the private chat and you read it.
Hold on,
I'm gonna read this because I was literally Googling this yesterday.
You're gonna have Dizzy start ODing.
Yeah, she might start vibrating. You might not be able to finish the show, y'all. It might be.
Oh my goodness!
Hey man, why watch what you're saying, man?
All right, we're gonna go on to the next thing. The next clip.
I wonder where your poison is.
Grenade! It's over right now!
Make him pay!
Area secured. Hostiles neutralized.
That game was my crack, boy.
So
I was gonna say, you trying to hurt Troy? Who threw that up there?
So because the Veep has the most time invested into this game, I'm gonna let him talk about Division 1 and its faults, perhaps first.
Yeah, I remember this was the first game I've ever waited at GameStop on a midnight release. I had to experience it in my umpteen up there in years with a whole bunch of snot-nosed kids waiting for this game. Get home, I just wanted to, put it in if there's any updates or whatever to download, and that SOB didn't work because that's where they had issues with the disc.
I went there, now it's a whole different show.
Yeah, Glass done turned this into the OnlyFans Glass House.
Hey, man, after hours Glass House, you know what I'm saying?
Black light Glass House. Anyway, so I had to end
Y'all
up.
think this sheet is blue? It's really not.
You know what I'm saying?
Yikes!
So I ended up buying the game digitally because they weren't going to refund the money for the game.
Nah, that's crazy.
Even though it was 24 hours, because they even GameStop didn't realize the magnitude of that issue, which had nothing to do with them. it was all on Massive and whoever, burned all the DVDs. So yeah, I bought the download and I had no issues after that as far as getting into the game. But man, this is a game that constantly had hackers, had glitches, and it would crash on you when you were about to achieve something. I mean, this game broke my heart over and over and over again, and just like a typical dum-dum, I went and plugged it back in and kept playing.
Kept coming back for more.
So I'm gonna tell you, they fixed their mess and they made that game exemplary. It was just so dope. And it was a lot of fun. It was more fun with my man, Mr. Glass, and of course, our boy, Death Charger. And Gabe was in there too. So having people play that game, all we did was laugh. Oh my God. Just hilariousness. Go ahead.
So I don't even think we said the game's name. So that's Division 1. Yes. And one of the things about Division 1, outside of everything that Veep said, is that game had a specific way of turning the most mundane, like routine tasks and making them extremely difficult for the game to somehow compute. Like you would go to acquire a weapon, like turn in a quest or something like that, and you couldn't loot something off the ground.
Right.
You couldn't talk to an NPC. You couldn't drop an item so that your friend could get it. Like the simplest stuff would fall through the map.
Yep.
Like, the best one was, remember if you went into the Dark Zone, which was the PvP environment in Division 1, there was a glitch where you could literally go invisible and just kill everyone. The manhunt glitch. You remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. That was, I'm not even joking, that was a real glitch.
The manhunt glitch?
So, this is what it was. You would take yourself and kill a bunch of people in the Dark Zone. And after you kill a bunch of people, you get what's called a manhunt put on you. And that means everybody in the server can see where you are. And if they kill you, they get special bonuses to their loot, and they get your loot, and they get all kinds. It's just a good thing for them. They get extra Dark Zone XP, lots of stuff like that, okay? But once you got to a certain point, you could turn yourself invisible, glitch through the map so that they couldn't shoot you anymore, and just kill everyone. You would stand right in front of where the Dark Zone spawn zone is and just murderize every person that came in the door. There was people who had millions and millions of XP just doing that, and they got looted. They got the best loot humanly possible, everything, by just standing there and cheating.
Yep.
They didn't fix this for like a solid month, by the way. So it was a month of that glitch running around. And this is a looter shooter. So just think about it like, if you were to be able to cheat and get the absolute best loot, Destiny loot cave, eventually you have to fix that. Or else everybody's going to have the best stuff, and there's nothing to loot for it. And that's what happened in a big way on Destiny 1, or Division 1.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Did you play Division, Dizzy?
I did. I dabbled in both of them. I own both of them. My problem is that my schedule just didn't line up to play with anyone I knew. So playing by myself wasn't as much fun.
Why didn't you get us up? Like what?
Like, I remember thinking it was a really pretty game.
Yeah, graphically, yes.
Like, I loved the mechanics. I did not do well in the Dark Zone at all. I walked in there like a lamb, and I was just like obliterated.
The problem is that people that went in the Dark Zone, sometimes they rolled in like multi-squad deep, and they would have perfect PvP builds. And if you didn't
there
have,
was just Dizzy going la 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 la.
Yeah, and they saw you and they went, "Ooh, fresh meat," and they just, you know what I mean? And it was over.
But I remember I did really enjoy what I did play.
Yeah, I mean, what is your thoughts on what we've all been talking about here, D-Ray? Did you play it?
In full disclosure, I only played the demo. Yeah, I did. I knew about all the problems though. I knew about the disc, the disc malfunction, because a lot of the guys that I used to work with in IT would complain about it. But nah, I never got around to playing that one.
Yeah, that disc read error was crazy.
Oh, and by the way, Dizzy, that little la 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 that you just did, you just made the same record that Glass is about to do.
That EP gonna be fire, yo.
Hey, speaking of music, who's our Blast Artist of the Week?
Well, check it out. This is a special week. This week, we're actually celebrating the comics of Blast. So, we have some stand-up of my man, Big Los. Let's go ahead and check out Big Los, y'all.
Come on now. We just got to do better, man. Fellas, we got to do better too, man. Big dudes in tight muscle shirts. Keyword muscles. If you ain't had a muscle since 87, that ain't your shirt. Some dude like, yeah, it is. No, it ain't, Twinkie. Now, I say this because I'm telling y'all, I tell about my life. Now, I got one time because I lost about 2 pounds one week. So I felt good. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get one. I had a new suit on. I'm going to wear it to church. Had a new suit, had the thing, had my little shirt on. I was like, yeah, I'm feeling kind of snug. And it's something about when you got something new on, that's when God will test your praise and worship on it. That's when God will test how much you really love him. When you get some new stuff on, because, you know, big people sweat. Little people, you ain't going to get this joke. You know what I'm saying? Because when I come to church, I'm already sweating before I get in church. So you want me to praise and worship on top of the sweat and get the praise and worship sweat? So that's how God went in there. God tested me. He said, look, this your Sunday. Take off running. And I ain't missing my blessing. I don't care what nobody say. Tuck off running around the church. And there was a lady running for her blessing too. But I'm very competitive, so I'm racing her around the church. Trying to get to my blessing before I get to hers. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. So about the 15th lap, things start getting a little dim. Start seeing 2 crosses, 3 choirs. I done passed out in the back of the church, under that last pew over there. You know, in some churches, they'll lay the sheet over you because you're out on the Lord and the Lord is working on you. They didn't have one big enough to fit me, Pastor. So I'm laying under a car cover. And the little usher, she praying in her little fake proverbial tongue. I know you're saying, Carlos, how you know it's fake? Here's what she said. She said, tie my bow tie, retie my bow tie. What? Don't do it, fellas. They sure ain't got no ventilation. They had to cut it off of me in church. So, met this young lady. And I met her in church. And I was like, wow, this can't be crazy because she's a member of the church. And she was on everything. She was on all the boards. She was on the dance team, the mime team, missionary team. She could park your car, change your oil, do your taxes, everything. Pastor, I thought I found my rib. Thought I found it, Pastor. I said, hey, I love the way you praise. Hey, I feel God is calling us together. I said, I think we should go out and fellowship. I said, what you want to do? She said, I want to go to the movies. I said, okay, what you want to see? She said, I want to see snakes on a plane. Now, I don't like snakes. So I had to do a lot of praying before I went. So we went to the theater. You know how, fellas, you go on a date and it's real dark. Had to sit close to the wall so you can get your Mac on in the name of Jesus. So we in the theater. It's real dark. We sitting there and, you know, on every first date, ain't nobody telling the truth. So I'm lying to her. She lying to me. I'm prophet lying to her. She prophet lying to me. Somebody gonna get that when you get home. Like, you been lying to me, bro. So we sitting there, right? Getting cozy and everything. So, you know, fellas, you know how we do. Get cozy, you gotta put your arm around it. Oh, go ahead. Lay on that right there, baby. So we sitting there. She done got cozy and she done fell into the teddy bear. So she's sitting there. She done got comfortable. So she said, ooh. So fellas, you know you got it when she said, ooh. Yeah. So when she say, "Ooh, yeah," you know you got it. So we sitting there, and the theater, the movie comes on. Have you seen it? Looks like a snake jumps out the screen. She jumps up, but her ponytail stayed on my arm. Now I think it's a snake about to bite me in this movie theater, so I need to get out of this movie theater before I get bit by this snake that's on my arm. So I have mushed her out the way. I'm on the seat, done knocked down some babies, a couple white folks. I'm all the way down the street. I ain't seen her since. She been calling me out and blocked her twice. Now they say she stay in Hall River, but I ain't seen her since. But I still got her ponytail, so if you need a sick number 9, please.
That's our boy, Big Los.
Man, I can't believe I know that dude.
Oh man,
that's our
anybody
boy.
need a sick number 9? You know, you hit me up right now.
And let me tell you, the thing is with that joke, I don't know if you can tell it, but Los is like 6'2", 6'3", 380. When he move, he gonna move some people out the way. So it's best not to scare him.
Right.
Yeah,
He said he mushed the old girl with some babies. White couple, hey. He was going through.
Hilarious.
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, you know what I'm saying?
No doubt, no doubt. Hey, we still got a whole bunch of clips and time is not on our side, so we're gonna keep it going.
All right, that's right.
Let's see here. Here's the next one.
We're heading back through that hive breeding ground. The vanguards say they're spilling onto the surface now, keeping the fallen busy.
I hate that game.
I just want to ask.
Destiny 1?
I just want to ask one simple question. Why was the dude dancing? Like,
well, that's just what you do in Destiny. If you've got to stop for a second and watch something, you just hit one of the directional pads and you start emoting.
I hate that game.
Time.
I hate that game.
What does the first Destiny do to you?
You see how in the beginning he drove up the mountain?
Mm-hmm.
It took me a good 30 minutes to figure out how to get up the mountain. And secondly, once you get through all of the initial stuff, they don't tell you where to go. And so I'm like, what I even download this game for? Anyway.
See, that's the thing. You needed people like me to help you get from point A to point B.
I loved Destiny.
That was like kind of my thing, is helping everybody get their gear and stuff.
I hate to admit this on a nationally televised podcast, but I'm a little intimidated to play with you, Mr. Glass, because I know what you do to people on Twitch, and I don't think my ego can handle it.
See, that's why you got to come play with me. I'm good for the ego.
See, I don't know about you either, Dizzy, because that video that we saw right before the show, I just don't know.
It's a different game, and I was very upfront that is the only game in the whole world I'm good at. So ask Troy. We were playing Iron Banner there a week or so ago. I did not do well.
Neither of us did. We stunk it up.
But you know what made me really happy about that clip you played though? Was Dinklebot. I miss Dinklebot.
Oh, yeah.
I have mad respect for Nolan North. I do. But I loved Dinklebot. And when they re-recorded those lines, I got so angry.
So here's my problem with Nolan North. Nolan North took on the role that Peter Dinklage, who is Tyrion Lannister in Game of Thrones, and he took on that role for the Ghosts in Destiny. And he tried to do it absolutely nothing like Tyrion, which bothers me. Because, look, I get that people didn't like Peter Dinklage's for some unknown reason, maybe because they're stupid. But
I feel like there were drugs involved.
That's what I'm saying. It was high doses of mushrooms that really the FDA doesn't recommend at this time. But I don't know, man. Like, I don't know, bro.
Shrooms and Twinkies.
No, I loved Dinklebot. Like, there was
what I wanted to ask? You just brought up Twinkies. How long has Los known Gooch? Because I feel like...
Look, that was my joke, man. You just stole my joke. Yo, I'm sitting there thinking the same thing. It's like, wait, I don't think he was he clairvoyant? Did he know he was gonna meet Gooch? And if you think about it, Gooch can't wear a muscle shirt either. So it's like,
I don't know, man. All right.
Finish your point, and I'll head on to the next.
I'm gonna try, man. So this just roll the next man video.
This should get the early warning network back up. Good, that did it. You'll need to manually check the sensors now. First one's nearby. Oh, maybe grab some supplies before you go.
Might come in handy.
Jungle's full of useful stuff. There's the first sensor. I need you to access it. Stick close so I can get a reading on the Shaper energy. Hang on. I'm detecting movement. Looks like scorpions.
Scorpions are riled up.
Well, aren't they? Probably haven't tasted fresh freelancer in a while.
Won't be today.
Aha! Convinced them. Hang in there. I'm still waiting for a reading.
Owen, almost got it.
All right, readings coming through.
What?
It's mostly normal.
Mostly? This is the early warning system. If it's detecting something...
Yeah, no sign of Shaper energy. Head to the next sensor.
Was it that lemon white box?
Definitely one of the best looking video games to this date. Beautiful. That was such a beautiful game. It's so immersive because it's like you can fly all different tiers. The game was just overwhelmingly gorgeous to play, but it had issues and they didn't fix it. And now they're releasing their expansion at the same cost of what the original cost.
What's the name of the game?
No.
That is Anthem.
You got this wrong.
Oh,
you're thinking of Outriders expansion.
Right.
There is no expansion for Anthem. There is no more content for Anthem. Anthem is dead.
Yeah, it was a huge flop.
But here's the thing. If you guys have ever played Anthem, did you not think Anthem was fun?
Oh,
I did.
First, like the combo system.
Yeah.
If you stayed around long enough to get some of like the end game weapons and like the weapons caused combo primers and it like the whole. I mean, it was a lot of really great ideas in Anthem. It just for whatever reason they just didn't execute with content that mattered, and it really hurt the game because I remember I was on Mixer when Anthem had come out, and I was playing it with the Veep, if I remember correctly.
That's right.
And I had one of my best streams on Mixer ever playing the beta for Anthem. And I'm thinking, oh man, dude, like, I'm about to be playing this game for like 10 years. This is going to be great. I didn't even get past like the first month, and it just died.
It
and I
had
was
real potential.
I called it for Game of the Year the year it was released.
Right.
I just after playing the beta because I thought there's no way they fumbled this. Like the beta was just so fun. There's no way they could mess this up. They're talking 10-year plan and content release windows throughout the first 6 months and everything. I mean, there was so much that they had planned for this game, and none of it materialized. And it was all bad, poorly executed.
If I'm correct, didn't their demo sell out as a demo? It was either them or Outriders. It was one of the two. They sold out from just so many players playing. It was a great.
I mean, look, the demo was so good that it had more concurrent players playing it than any other game on Xbox at the time. The demo had the most concurrent players on Xbox. Think about that for a second. People were hyped for this game. Everyone who liked Destiny at the time was growing tired of Destiny. And we were looking for that next game to hit. And Anthem, it scratched the itch. And this is Utah, I can't, man.
I remember we used to take turns streaming E3 at work, right? Like someone would have on their computer E3 going so that between calls or whatever we could run and watch. And Anthem was one that we watched the trailer multiple times, that teaser trailer. And we were all psyched about it. We're like, wow, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. And all of us bought it. And I don't think any of us played much more than, like you said, like a month. It was so disappointing because it had so much promise. Like if they'd have just put a little more effort into it, I think they could have really had something there.
Which it kills me because they had an entire redo of it ready to go, and EA was like, nah, we don't want to do that. It's gonna be too much. And I was so excited about, dude, they're finally redoing it. It's gonna be tons of content. I'm gonna finally get to stream this and get my money's worth, and it's gonna be great, dude. And they said no.
I'd pay for a take two just because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give you guys another crack at this because this is something I want to succeed. I want this to work. I will buy it again.
Well, okay. So in the demo, there is basically what I refer to as a Destiny strike, right?
Right.
And you play that, and in that one encounter, your entire team actually has to be on point because it's challenging, and yet you can do it. You know what I mean? Like it had that right amount of difficulty and reward at the same time, because like when you got deep into the game and you kept doing those, what I would call the Destiny strikes and all that, the raids and stuff, you would get legendaries, and those legendaries, if you got the right rolls and stuff, they were super powerful, and they made They made you feel like you were the man when you got the right stuff, and it just didn't materialize. Like it just
I
died.
loved customizing the suit, like being able to choose all the different. Like that was well done, and like I loved the social system where you go around and talk to people. Like I spent hours just running around that town talking to everyone, and then running around talking to them again because you'd unlock new dialogue from them and stuff. And I would find actors that I would recognize. I'm like, oh my god, this dude is in this game. Like it had real potential, and it was very sad when it didn't succeed.
Well, I've never played the game, but I did just read that it may have inspired future Iron Man games.
It had a very Iron Man feel to the flying around.
Yeah, exactly. So it may have inspired the suit mechanics and a lot of the things that you can do. So in that clip, I was like, wow, that looks like Iron Man.
Exactly.
So yeah,
dude, I had my character looking like a cross between Black Panther and Iron Man. It was so dope.
Oh wow, that is dope.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, we had so much fun with that game, and it sucks that it fizzled out early.
They just never produced content after launch that mattered. Like there was never. When you got to the end, when you got all legendaried up, and you were the man, there was just nothing to do, and it ultimately killed the game.
Yeah, I didn't get past one boss. I think only got to that the first boss of the game, and either was there were so many issues that you couldn't have, a fire team to help you. So.
Oh yeah, I remember when it first launched, there was a problem. You couldn't get people in multiplayer at first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I made it past that. I did. I made it to the end of the game. I beat the game. Just didn't do anything afterwards. Lena says the game that disappointed me was Resident Evil. That's when my pure hate of zombies began. I haven't been the same since. I feel it. You know what I'm curious as to know why they didn't do this yet. Why isn't there a proper, what's that show? Walking Dead. Why isn't there a proper Walking Dead game? And I know there's the Telltale games and all of that stuff.
And the VR game did really well.
Yeah, but I want maybe an RPG or a action game that is The Walking Dead. You know what I mean?
Probably. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Disney.
A zombie RPG.
I want to be a zombie. Anyway, probably because of budget. Because if you got to think about The Walking Dead is really probably the most famous low budget TV show in the history of modern television.
Yeah.
So they don't have that big of they have a lot of fans. But do they have a lot of fans that would pay $60 to $70 for a video game? Probably not.
I think I disagree with you there, D-Ray. I think the Walking Dead fans are probably some of the most feverish fans that there are. Like if you go to their Comic Cons and stuff, where the actors are, they got people lined up wall to wall just to be near these.
I can attest. I've been to a couple, and the lines for John Barenthal are always long.
John Bernthal's the freaking man.
He is.
Let me tell y'all.
The Punisher, dude.
In full disclosure, my wife and I had made a vow that we were never going to watch Walking Dead, and one day I was home from work and she was homesick. We didn't have anything else to watch, and we decided, you know what? We're just going to try this one episode of Walking Dead just to see what it's all about.
Just to take that one hit. Just
to see. 3 days later.
You emerge from your house.
3 days later.
Look around for zombies.
It's like, have we eaten? Where are the kids?
There is seasons after seasons after seasons on that.
I never finished Walking Dead. I'm not speaking to it.
Yeah.
I'm not. It's still going. So I'm waiting for it to end. I got to season 7 and I trailed off.
I am multiple seasons behind. I reached this one episode and I'm like, no, I'm not talking to you anymore. And I haven't watched it.
When Rick left, I left.
Ditto.
Well, I'm not sure about this. So if it's a spoiler, my bad. But because I don't know for sure. But when Rick left, there was a whole thing that he was going to find a cure for the disease that started it. The people, they took him, and that was what the whole thing was about. And I believe that he's back on the show right now. I'm not 100% certain on this because I ain't watched it. But reading stuff online, I believe that the whole premise of this season is his return, I think.
Well, you know, having gone to WDA, Walking Dead Anonymous, I just will not go back and watch it again.
Now, D-Ray, did you watch Fear the Walking Dead?
No. There's like, you know, if how can I put this? Never mind. No, I just didn't. I didn't want to.
You know it's bad when D-Ray's got to rethink his sentence because it's too much.
You know what I mean? We already got the disclaimer. And, you know, I don't want to be the one to say, hey, explain why the show got shut down.
All right. So I know we're over an hour, but do we have any more videos?
No, that's it.
Okay. So in closing with this episode, guys, I hope you guys understand that when you click on this podcast, we have a topic. Are we going to stick to that topic all the time? Hell no. All right. But that's what y'all come here for. Y'all come to hear us ramble and talk about nonsense and laugh about stuff that unless you watch the other podcasts, you may not get. But that's why you got to go watch the other podcasts, man. We got lots of podcasts on the Blast Network. Y'all got to check them all out. You got Carlos Concoctions. You got Kenja. That's her name, right? Kelja. You got Kelja's Truth and Consequences. I think I'm forgetting a word in there. But that's a show on the Blast Network, y'all.
I'm so sorry. That's like an inside joke. Everybody got their own name for that show.
Yeah. I can't, dude. But all right, and you got Big Los and my man D-Ray over here with the Blast of Laughs. Y'all got the On Blast show. Listen, guys, all of these shows are dope. All right, I give them the GLASSHouse seal of approval. Y'all need to check them out. It's Blast 24/7 Radio. They do the shows as well. You can go to the YouTube. You can catch all the shows. It's all over the place, man. Go find them. Go binge watch them. They're dope.
There you go. You heard the man.
You are good at that. What's that dude that used to do all the infomercials? They need to contact you. You're really good at that.
Well, some people would know that I did a podcast for over a year and a half before I started doing this podcast. I had to scrub that podcast from the internet because some of my opinions were not safe for TV. All right, so
I now must find.
It's no way. It's not possible. You cannot find it. I have tried. I have literally had IT professionals try to find it, and they can't do it.
Wow.
It is dead.
Not me. Like real IT professionals.
I realize it.
Oh, I bet you it's in a file somewhere where Bonnie showed it. Never mind.
Easy.
Oops.
Okay,
sorry.
So in closing though, like I said, go check out all the shows on the Blast Network. Make sure you guys leave comments, like the YouTube videos, all that stuff, because it really does help bring attention to the podcast. And if you want us to grow, make more podcasts, and be able to do more things with these shows, that is how you guys can show your support, and that is the best way to do so. All right? So I'm going to speak for myself, and I'm going to let the rest of these guys go and say their goodbyes. But hey, I appreciate each and every one of you guys who tunes in to the GLASSHouse each week. I know there's a couple of you, Lena especially, who comes in every single week. I want to make sure that I say thank you to you.
Yes, she
because
does.
You help bring attention to the podcast by just being here. And you're also hella funny with the comments. I wanted to make sure I highlighted that. I appreciate you. So for the rest of you guys have anything to say before we close up top here?
Well, I mean, that's hard to follow. He's a lot more eloquent than I am.
Me too.
I just appreciate everyone who watches this podcast because it means we get to keep making it, which means that on Tuesday nights I get an excuse to sit here and just, kick it with these three, and I have a blast. Like, no pun intended.
No, pun was intended. Blast on with your bad self.
Wow. You know what? Live life. How about that? Play the jingle. How about that?
Wrap this ish up.
Wrap this up.
Hey guys, we thank you for coming out. Everybody be safe. We love y'all, and we'll see y'all next Tuesday. So what do we got to say?
GG, my G.
My G.
Peace out.
Yo, this is Mr. Glass, and welcome to the Glass House.